Today's video, we're going to be trying ultralight backpacking for the very first time. 15 miles into the day now, and we have an issue. I'm out on a 3-day, 2-night trip. I'm going to try to be covering about 57 miles. We're going to see if giving up comfort in camp is worth the comfort that I receive on the trail. I'm carrying a base weight of only 8 pounds. Well, I just got dropped off at Winding Stair Gap in North Carolina, and my goal is to make it all the way back to Unicole Gap, which is about 57 to 58 miles. We are at about 5 miles into our day, and I was able to cover that 5 miles in about an hour and a half. Now that's a lot faster than what my normal pace would be. So we're gonna have to kind of see where I'm at towards the end of the day to see if being this light and nimble has really just allowed me to be able to walk a lot faster. I'm also covering about 6,000 feet of elevation throughout the entire day. So I'm not in any like easy stretch of the trail by any means. I love hiking this time of year though, because the leaves are changing colors. You got all the yellows and the reds, orange, and there's still some green. So it's absolutely beautiful out here, and I couldn't have asked for more perfect weather. We're gonna have highs in the 60s, lows probably at elevation just below 40 in the 30s. So we're gonna really be able to see if going this ultralight during this time of the year works or doesn't. About 7 miles into the day, a little over 7 miles, and I stopped here at my first water source to fill up some water. And one tip that I can give you to staying as ultralight as possible is whenever you get to a water source, just chug a couple of bottles of water, so that way you don't have to carry that much water with you while you're on trail. So, when I chug a couple bottles, I'm able to just carry, the one bottle that I keep in my front pouch. And so that's the only water that I'm carrying because water's heavy. And another trick to staying absolutely ultralight when you're on these type of trips is what you're eating weighs a lot. So if you keep to super lightweight snacks, like today I'm having some shaved beef biltong, and I'm having some freeze-dried cheddar cubes from Foundation Outdoors. These are going to be my snacks for the day, and the amount of calories that I'm going to get out of these snacks is about 1,200 calories for the day. So I'm going to throw these two in a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to be able to eat them while I'm walking. We're coming up on Albert Mountain's fire tower, and it's an icon of the Appalachian Trail for a couple different reasons. First, because it's right around the 100-mile mark, so it's a big, exciting mile mark for people that are hiking north. But secondly, it's always a beautiful view if you catch it on a day like today. So I'm super excited to be up there and to see what it looks like, being that we have such a beautiful clear day. And I've also never approached it from the southbound direction, which I am today, because climbing up Albert Mountain Fire Tower is always a big pain. But it seems like southbound is a whole lot easier. Almost every time I've been to this tower, this view has been completely blocked in or socked in. So it's an absolutely gorgeous day for that type of view. All right, we just completed our descent of Albert Mountain, and that puts us at over 10 miles on the day and a little under 4 hours. So we're doing really good as far as time and mileage goes. So my goal was 22 miles today to Standing Indian Mountain, where I want to watch that beautiful sunset that I've seen there before. So I'm hoping that we'll make that with no problems. We do have to stop and take a lunch break within the next 2 hours or so. I'm not really hungry yet, but as soon as I start to feel hungry, I'm going to stop and we'll make our lunch. We are about halfway into the day. I'm going to stop and take my lunch break. This is a really good water source right here. So we are having Foundation Outdoors lime chicken with avocado mango salsa for lunch. It's one of the first times I've ever cooked lunch on trail. However, as light as these things are, I think it's going to be worth the extra 15 minutes to make it happen. All right, just finished up lunch and getting back on trail. Spent a little bit longer time there than I wanted to, but there was a couple of Sobo AT hikers that are just finishing up, and got to chit-chatting with them for a little bit. So we should still be able to make it to camp around 5:30, 6 at the latest. Got less than, or it might be even less than that, because we only have 10 miles left on the day, a little over 10 miles. I tell you what, that Foundation Outdoors avocado lime chicken, oh my goodness, that's probably the best backpacking meal I've ever had. Oh my goodness, that thing was so good. And I've got full belly with real food, right? The chunks of chicken in that thing were massive chunks. It's not like where you can't even find the meat inside of the packet, and all of the rest of the ingredients in there, again, real ingredients, no junk, no filler. So man, that was good. All right, we're gonna keep on hiking and see if we can't make it all the way to Standing Indian tonight. About 15 miles into the day now, and we have an issue. Not the amount of mileage that I'm going to be doing today, but I broke another trekking pole. It's in my backpack now, and the bad part about that is the way that I set my tarp up is with the trekking poles. So I don't know, this is the third trekking pole that I've broke. These Durston trekking poles, so I just don't think that I can trust them anymore. I'm gonna have to get a different set, unfortunately. I really like them, but I can't have them breaking all the time. All right, well, we will be setting up the tarp with some type of stick tonight. We'll figure it out when we get to camp. All right, just past Beach Gap, which is about 19 miles into my day. The pack is still feeling, great, super light. Really not feeling like I have anything on my shoulders at all as far as weight goes. So all in all, I mean, being ultralight definitely makes your day, a lot better as far as carrying goes, because there's no weight on your hips, there's no weight on your shoulders, and you're just able to move a lot more swiftly and just easily as you hike. Now, when I get to camp, I'll show you guys everything that I brought, the camp setup, and how I'll be sleeping tonight, which is the trick on how I got so light. All right, well, we made it here to camp. I chose this spot right here where I'm gonna get everything set up, because there's a tree right there that I can tie one end of my tarp off to, since I only have one trekking pole. So I'm gonna get the camp set up, and then we'll get dinner going. Got everything set up. Here is the tarp set up for the night. So got my sleeping bag in there, my sleeping pad. I got my polycro laid down, and the only thing I might do is I might lower the sides just a little bit more. There's a little bit of wind right now, and I think that lowering the sides might help the wind from coming in. Seems like there's plenty of room under there. I'm gonna go ahead and get my camp clothes on, and I'm gonna get dinner started. Alright, got my camp clothes on, so I'm nice and toasty now. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna make for dinner here. Let's see what we got. Spicy Italian pork sausage risotto. 1120 calories. Let's give that a shot. These Foundation Outdoors meals are crazy. I mean, I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like before you cook it here, and you can literally see the size of the meat that's in these things. That is it right there. You see that spicy Italian pork sausage, and then there's the risotto. This is going to be good. Well, I missed out on the sunset. The last time I was here, the path to get up to the top of Standing Indian, all of this underbrush wasn't there because it was during earlier part of the season. It was, you know, right after winter. And so I tried to find a path to get up there, and really wasn't a clear path. So I'm gonna go ahead and just eat my dinner here, and then we're gonna climb into our tarp area and get all warm. Chunks of sausage. I mean, just ridiculous size sausage. That is delicious. That is very good. Foundation Outdoors, you've outdone yourself. That's good. I made some warm green tea. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we're going to get inside the tarp and kind of get everything arranged in there and figure out how we're going to get sleeping tonight. All right, I have made it into the tarp. So I'm gonna keep my backpack right here, and I think I'm gonna use my sit pad as a pillow, wrapping it around my seat pad and my little bag that's got some clothes and stuff like that in it. I've got my headlamp right here in case I need it during the night. Shoes are over there. Nothing should be able to mess with my backpack sitting right here by my head. And yeah, this is gonna be it for the night. We did over 22 miles today, which was absolutely fantastic. I didn't feel anything on my shoulders because the pack was so light, so I definitely was able to hike way more comfortably. Now we have to see about this sleeping situation and see how my body performs tomorrow after sleeping inside of this. So I'll let you guys know how it goes in the morning. Good morning. We made it through the night. We slept. I can't say that I slept well, but I mean it will suffice. Sleeping on this pad is I constantly had to rotate like a rotisserie chicken so that one side of me didn't get too sore. So I'd sleep on one side, then I'd sleep on my back, and then I'd rotate to the other side. So like I said, I was constantly in a rotation. So definitely is not by any means comfortable. But we'll see how my body feels. Right now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to try to make breakfast under here, because I don't think we're going to get any rain on this trip, but I do want to kind of mimic what it would be like to have to like be in this tarp like during a rainy thing and have to deal with all of that. So we're gonna make breakfast, and then we're gonna get packed up, and we're gonna get our miles in today. So let's get started. Rise and shine breakfast. Fully scrambled eggs mixed with pork sausage and cheddar cheese, topped with bell peppers and onions. All right, so it is possible to make breakfast and everything under here, but now that my water is inside of my breakfast pouch, I am going to go ahead and start loading things up, and we're gonna eat breakfast and then get on trail. It's a little bit windy outside, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record of the day, but we'll see. We should get wind breaks during the day. There you go. That is my setup for last night. I did use a couple of logs as windbreaks over here on this side. Although I'm low enough to the ground that all this brush around the tarp kind of kept the wind out. I slept warm. I didn't sleep well, but I slept warm. I wasn't cold at all. So that was, that's a plus. Being that it got into the 30s last night, and yet the foam pad on the ground was enough for me to be able to stay warm. The ground's not frozen or anything in Georgia right now. Oh, actually, I'm still thinking I'm in North Carolina. I'll be in Georgia soon. Be in Georgia today. But all in all, it was a good night. So now we're gonna eat breakfast and then we'll get moving. But for breakfast this morning, we're having the Foundation Outdoors Rise and Shine breakfast. There's 1,040 calories in the breakfast and 58 grams of protein. It's nothing but real ingredients. It's scrambled eggs, whipping cream, cardamom, pork sausage, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, spices, herbs, sharp cheddar cheese. So it is a fantastic way to eat real food in the backcountry. The reason why I was able to be not just ultralight with my gear, but ultralight with my food is because Foundation Outdoors has partnered together with our channel to provide me with meals when I'm on adventures like this. Yes, you can taste the difference because you're talking about real ingredients. Man, no fake meat, no little shreds of meat or anything like that. There's actual big chunks of meat, real eggs, and it's going to be delicious, and it's going to keep me fueled while I'm hiking. If you want to check out Foundation Outdoors, you can use the code LEO20 and you'll get 20% off your entire order when you order from them. So highly recommend that you guys go check them out. A little chilly this morning. Once I got out and got moving, I got my gloves on. I'm gonna hike in my fleece for a little while. This is the Zpacks Octa fleece. I've been dying to get this thing. I wanted one a long time ago, but they were out of stock for forever. But I slept in it last night, and so that, my silk pajamas, and my 20-degree El Coyote, I was warm. I was toasty. As a matter of fact, there was like humidity underneath my polycro because it was so warm in there. So, besides rotating constantly, I survived. I survived. First night of ultralight sleeping. My body doesn't feel bad, getting on trail this morning, and so we'll have to see. I have 23 plus miles planned for today, so we'll see how those miles go and see how my body feels after sleeping under a tarp on a Z-pad. We're about 6.5 miles into the day, and I kind of want to be honest. I'm not feeling, as spry as I was yesterday when I was hiking. I'm a little lethargic, probably from not getting really good quality sleep. So we're just gonna have to see how the rest of the day goes. But I think good sleep does really make a big difference when you're out hiking and you're trying to do bigger miles. I just don't feel like I'm going as fast. And that's the Bly tree. That is a iconic tree as you leave Georgia and enter into North Carolina. They should mark on there you're about to get your butt kicked because of all the climbing that you're fixing to have to do. All right, there's a water source down here. We're gonna stop and have our lunch there. On the menu for lunch today, we're gonna try the Foundation Outdoors chicken pot pie. I'm excited about this one. 980 calories, 29 grams of protein, all real ingredients. Chicken pot pie filling, chicken breast, milk, chicken broth, potatoes, celery, peas, green carrots, green beans, onions, heavy whipping cream, unsalted butter, all-purpose flour, black pepper, spices, biscuits. Man, this is going to be delicious. All right, let's see what this tastes like. Oh my goodness, it looks delicious. Oh my goodness. Hey Ben, look at that. Chunks of chicken. Oh yeah, you'd like some of that, wouldn't you?
This is one of the
That's okay. I just dropped some. Oh yeah, he's just enjoying it. See, even Finn wants to get some of that. Chicken pot pie is delicious. All right, we are officially back in Georgia now. Leaving North Carolina. There's about a 3-mile descent down into the Blue Ridge Gap, and then we're going to pass over in the Plum Orchard Shelter area. This is an area I'm very, very familiar with. I've hiked it several times, so fueled up. That chicken pot pie was amazing, and I made a friend there at the water source that made me really miss having Leo. So if I'm gonna figure out this ultralight thing, I've got to figure out a way to do it where I can bring Leo. Like that shelter that I have, this trip, I think the focus was just like, would I even want to be ultralight? And I'm telling you, like on trail, it's nice. At camp last night, sleeping, not so much. So I don't know, after this trip, maybe I'll go back to the drawing board and we'll see if we can't get an ultralight kit that's comfortable. Is it possible to have an ultralight kit that's comfortable? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Just, comment down below. I want to see that video, and I'll see if I can't, do some research and figure out how to get under 10 pounds and yet still be comfortable in camp. All right, we're gonna keep on hiking and get the miles in for today. We're gonna stop at 18 today. I've decided, instead of going 23, and it's gonna just leave us an easy hike out to the road where after I sleep tonight, I'll be able to get up in the morning and make the drive home. That's just gonna make things easier. So, all right, let's finish this hike. All right, I'm gonna stop for my last break of the day. I think we're about 3 miles from camp. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, I don't know. I'll have to check the map here in a second. It's gotten rather warm. It's chilly this morning, but it's warm now. These Appalachian climbs are a lot different than like anything on the Colorado Trail. No switchbacks, it's all up and downs. I'm gonna eat some of my beef and cheese, drink some of my water, and then we'll go ahead and finish this thing out, get to camp, and get this ultralight set up again. We've made it into camp, 18 miles today. I'm gonna get everything set up and then we're gonna get dinner started. I think I'm gonna set up right here in this little grassy patch. I'm gonna tie off to this tree. Although it's dead, it's very, very solid. It's not going anywhere tonight. But I think this grass will provide a little bit of a cushion for me. A little grass patch right there underneath my padding. Maybe I'll get a little bit more comfortable rest tonight. We'll see, but let me get camp set up and then we'll get dinner started. It's a little after 5 o'clock. I've got my camp clothes on now. I got everything set up. So here is the tarp setup for tonight. I'll be dragging the rest of the stuff under there with me once I get under there. My clothes sack is my pillow. I'm gonna have my fleece in my clothes sack tonight. That'll make it a little more comfy. I wore my fleece last night because we were on top of the Standing Indian Mountain. It was a little bit more cold, but it shouldn't be that cold tonight. So just my quilt and my silk pajamas should do. Be climbing in from this end right here, and so you can see there's my pad and my quilt set up in there, and I have it tied off to that tree, and then I have it staked off with my trekking pole on that side. All right, we're gonna get dinner started now that we got all that set up. All right, for dinner all right, for dinner tonight we are gonna go with spaghetti with meat sauce. Foundation Outdoors, 1130 calories, 62 grams of protein. So it's kind of a celebratory dinner. Your ingredients: beef, pork, and sausage, tomatoes, tomato sauce, onions, carrots, tomato paste, beef broth, red wine, whole milk. Man, when I tell you that these meals are real food, they are 100% real food, freeze-dried. All right, we're gonna give this a try now. Oh my goodness, that looks delicious. Look at that right there. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Looks like homemade spaghetti. Yeah. These are the best meals I've ever had, hands down. All right, I'm gonna finish this and then get camp straightened up, and then we're gonna climb into the ultralight sleep system for one last night. And then in the morning, I'll give you guys all my final thoughts, and we're gonna wrap up this trip. All right, so it's not going to be nearly as cold as it was last night. I have this as a pillow, and to make it just a little thicker, I was wrapping it in this to give me a little bit of a, little thicker support. But I'm wondering if it might be softer if I lay my head on that. Maybe just double that up, make it a little higher, something like that. All right. This is the ultralight life, just trying to make things work. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh my goodness. All right. That's night 2 in the ultralight setup. It's a little after 7 o'clock in the morning now. Beautiful little fog set in. That's okay. It's not too chilly. I'm going to make breakfast, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this entire setup, and then we'll go from there. All right, for this morning's breakfast, I'm going to be doing the Foundation Outdoors Southwest style breakfast. So this one's got 64 grams of protein in it, 1,100 calories, and it's scrambled eggs, spicy pork sausage, pepper jack cheese, black beans, red bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, white pepper, and spices. This is going to be delicious and should be super filling, being that it's 64 grams of protein for breakfast. That's a good amount of protein. So, all right, I'm going to get that on, and then I'm going to get my coffee going. That looks delicious. That's good. All right, guys, I've got a full belly now, and I am ready to hike out and get to the trailhead and get picked up. Here are my thoughts on ultralight backpacking. All right, I wanted to find out 3 different things when I came out here to do this trip. First and foremost, would ultralight backpacking make me a faster hiker? And the answer to that is well, it's kind of like, was I slightly faster on my first day? Yes. But after a night of sleep and kind of aches and pains and feeling lethargic, then the next day, I would say no. And the second question that I wanted to answer was, is trading comfort on trail worth trading comfort at camp? And that's where it's like, I still think that there is an ultralight backpacking way that you can maybe have both. And I'm going to try to figure that out. I have to say this, I was way more comfortable hiking with an ultralight setup. So during the day, I felt zero fatigue on my upper body. Didn't feel like I had a backpack on almost at all. So the only really fatigue is just the legs, but you're going to do the climbs whether you have a backpack on or whether you don't have a backpack on. So I was able to cover 40 miles in 2 days. So I was able to, average 20 miles a day, which is fantastic for most people. And so I don't know yet if I think that ultralight backpacking is the complete and total answer, but I want to figure that out. So I was definitely more comfortable on trail, but I was definitely not very comfortable in camp. I guess the jury is still out on ultralight backpacking. I'm going to go over my setup with an expert and kind of get some advice from him, and then we're gonna dive back into this and see if I can't do another video with a different setup. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get packed up and wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.